Ah, secret mantra unlocked. But it's... okay, it says stat boost vitality. Oh, not bad. I suppose I was a little bit more excited about secret mantras in the beginning of the game, but that was before I actually started unlocking them. They're not bad, but well, it might be a good thing too that they're not really game breaking. But I suppose they're kind of worth it to master anyway, at least some of them. Especially the ones who grants you mana whenever you walk, or the drain type of skills, which you can acquire from those mantras. And yeah, you know how much I like drain attacks. It's a bit of a luxury thing. I mean, you can't, if you keep draining enemies and such, you can pretty much grind for as long as you want without having to go back and restore yourself. So it's pretty nice. I do remember that in Persona 3 when I first bought it, I was completely fine with the fact that you couldn't normally regenerate SP. So I just kept grinding until I ran out of SP, and then I just ported back and left Tartarus. And that was that. So I guess it just felt more natural to do so. And I know for a fact that I didn't really use any drain skills back then. I was pretty much a newbie at the games, so. But if I play the game again and there are any drain skills there, I'm not sure. I haven't looked it up. But if there are, I would probably use them and play the game pretty much the same way I've been playing Nocturne and this game as of recently. Yes, okay, so we have come upon the next boss fight, which should be the next tribe leader, since, I mean, it does make sense, since we fought against Harley. So, yeah, let's swipe out some skills. Who was it? Who did I fight against? Oh, what boss fight came after Harley's boss fight? I'm trying to jog my memory. Let's see. Well, there weren't that many tribe leaders to fight against, so it shouldn't be too hard. I'm just trying to remember in which order you fought them. But Harley was in the first dungeon, and after that was... Oh, yeah. After that, you formed this so-called alliance with another tribe, but you do end up fighting against Bat and not Jinana. So you team up with Jinana's tribe, but you fight against Bat. I don't remember why. And Bat was Jinana's lieutenant in the tribe. And yeah, it was pretty obvious that he was going to turn on her eventually. He didn't really ever seem to fit into the tribe. And yeah, as you can tell from his name, he does transform into a bat demon. So he flies, he does a flying sweep, or a flying sweep attack, which shouldn't be that much of a problem if I just equip a healing spell. And I'm trying to remember what else. Oh, right. I do remember that there was a comment for that video with the boss fight against Bat, which mentioned that, oh hey, you can use earth-based attacks when he is guarding. And yeah, I do remember that comment pretty well for some reason. So I will use that. And what else? If I do remember correctly, he does use force-based attacks. So I should equip a force shield on someone. And other than that, we'll just have to do the good old trial and error and see if he actually does have any weaknesses. But yeah, shouldn't have too much of a problem with this fight, I believe. Say it, bitch! Okay, that voice could have been a bit more manly, I guess. I meant to say it like, say it, bitch! Okay, ice attacks are out. Fire-based attacks are apparently out as well. And since he is a flying demon, can't really use earth-based attacks yet. We'll have to wait for him to land. And we're gonna swap out Seraph because her attacks are not doing much at all. Oh. So he's actually weak to electric attacks. I suppose that makes sense since he uses force attacks. Since electric attacks are pretty much the counter to the force element. Yeah, that does make sense. I'm not sure why they started calling it force, but force is pretty much the wind element of the older games. Which, yeah. So they're pretty much the same, and as far as I can remember, electric attacks have always countered force attacks. And then force attacks countered earth-based attacks, yeah. Yeah, no problem. Who did I equip Makakaja on? Apparently not Roland. Yeah, it must be Cielo since he's the only one left, and I know for a fact that Seraph isn't really focused on buffs as much as anyone else. Limit reached. I do remember that I had some problems with the bat fight the first time I fought against him, because at the time I was pretty green when it came to playing these games. And I didn't even have media at the time. So I think I was using rations or something. So yeah, that took some time. And I'm obviously much better prepared for the this fight this time. So that's why it's much easier. Ah, his signature skill. Yeah, so as you can see, he does turn you into a bat, which, well, the only thing it does is it lowers your overall stats. But since we know his weakness, it's actually not that much of a problem. Since you do deal increased damage when you trigger a weakness, or when you exploit a weakness. So I should actually still be able to use it. It will just do a little bit less damage, but it should work more or less. Yeah. Oh. What just happened? I think I made a mistake there. I thought it was actually not flying. So that's why I used an earth-based attack, but he still was. Or technically he wasn't guarding, so... Oh, never mind. I don't know what's with me, but every time I'm fighting a boss fight, they always end up dying when I'm actually talking, and not being like, I don't know. I talk about something and then they suddenly die, and I have to interrupt my discussion or self-rant. Oh well. Let's see here. I need to reach a data node or a terminal. Ah yes, and we have to change back scales again. If I would rate this game, I suppose I would just bring up the lack of a skill profiling system. Well, I wouldn't count it into the final rating, but I would just note it down as a feature that I would have liked to have, but it would not make, or it wouldn't impact my impression of the game. It's just a kind of a pet peeve thing. But yeah, it's just not very interesting to watch me change skills, I suppose. And it is a bit of a pet peeve to try to remember what skills I had equipped before I entered the boss fight. And then I leave the boss fight and I try to remember which skills I had. Which, yeah, it does take some time to swap back. But since we are coming upon a new area, it is possible that I have to do this all over again, but change skills around. But yeah, it's just how it is.